just pull your hair out because it's like, Rudy, run up the field. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think that it's time, though, that the Vikings move on. Let a guy like Irv Smith take over. Let him, see how he fits in the offense. I think it'll be a good decision financially for the Vikes, so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. This one is something that I had a little fun with, and obviously with just baseball going on, you have to improvise with radio and podcasts because with the Twins going on, and it's great that they're doing well, but you don't want to hear about the Wild. You don't want to hear about the Wolves. I know the Wolves just got this Rojas guy to run the basketball operations aspect of things, but there's really not a ton to talk about other than the Twins. You can throw in some Vikings like I did, but I really wanted to give this because there are, and this isn't just Minnesota, but there are certain athletes in every state that you're just like, I give up on, okay? And I decided there's actually a lot of guys in Minnesota that I think for the most part fans have given up on. So I'm going to read you my 3 guys on my all Minnesota given up on team. Okay, let's start. We'll work our way up here. I'll start with number 3. Gorgie Dang. Okay. This guy is on a 4-year, $62 million contract to score 6 points a game and 4 rebounds and 13 minutes per game. That is one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. Easily. For a guy that is a mid-range jump shooter, for a guy that plays 13 minutes a game, who isn't imposing at all defensively. Gorgie, I don't know what. I don't know if it was Layden. I don't know if it was Tom Thibodeau that vouched for a 4-year, $62 million contract. That is almost $16 million a year to play 13 minutes per game. And I know the NBA has gotten ridiculous with the contracts. I mean, we're giving Otto Porter a $100 million contract. But still, this is one of the worst contracts, and a guy that he had a good couple years in the beginning of his career, and then it's just like he fell off. I mean, I guess you can't really fall off from averaging 12 points a game, but 6 points and 4 rebounds for a guy that's making $15 million per year, that is a astronomically bad contract. Horrible contract. Number 2. This is where it gets. There is a significant drop off from 3 to 2 to 1. Laquan Treadwell. Now I'm going to give you some numbers on our man Laquan. First of all, you talk about there are 2 athletes in Minnesota that seem like they want zero part of improving and working hard on their game. Laquan Treadwell and my next guy. And if you don't know who my next guy is, I don't know what to tell you. You know who I'm going to say. Now, the Vikings selected Treadwell with the 23rd pick in the 2016 draft. Do you know who went 24 picks later? Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is one of the most productive, most talented, probably a top 5 wide receiver in this game. Okay. Do you want me to compare the two in both their 3-year careers? Treadwell has 56 catches. 56 in 3 years for 517 yards and 1 touchdown. Michael Thomas has had 1,000 yards or more in all 3 seasons, including his league-leading one with 125 catches last year with 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. Just picture this for a second here. Can you imagine if it was Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, and Stephon Diggs? Think about that. That trio? Oh my God. That would be one of the greatest receiving trios of all time if the Vikings figured that out. And Laquan Treadwell, you wanted to give him time, right? And you give a player a span usually. Okay, your rookie year, he can't learn the playbook. Still, not an excuse to me. If you're not playing, you better be into the playbook. I didn't play my freshman year at Rutgers Newark. I'll tell you one thing. I learned a hell of a lot sitting on that bench. A hell of a lot. And it's a different, and you have to approach it that way. You can't dig yourself in the dumps and just say, all right, whatever, to hell with this season. You've got to be able to take the positive out of every situation in life. Laquan Treadwell, his rookie year, It was a wash. I mean, it was like he didn't care. He didn't care he wasn't playing. Mike Zimmer said he can't learn the plays. We can't put him out there. He wasn't very fast. And then his second year, he comes out in the Star Tribune article and he says, oh, well, I dropped my posse. They were holding me back, all that kind of stuff. And we're like, okay, well, what's going on with that? And he turns out to have another bust year. And then this year, the drops, the inconsistency, the Packer game, dropping a slant. And Daniel Carlson still lost that game for the Vikings, but still, that game should have been over. And Laquan Treadwell was to blame for that. This was Zimmer and Spielman's worst first round pick by far that they've ever had. And I don't see any bright light. I don't see any way he can turn this thing around. I wish he could. I actually feel bad for the kid. But it just seems like he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it internally. Doesn't seem like he works on it. Doesn't seem like he wants to get better. And he's going to find himself at home because not a lot of teams are going to be interested in Laquan Treadwell going forward here. Number 1. If you couldn't get this one, I don't know what to tell you. I have some... you got to sit back here. I have some scary types of numbers on Andrew Wiggins that makes you want to vomit and stab your eye out with a fork. Because what I read yesterday, and I was looking up some stuff on Andrew Wiggins, and I always want to educate here. So there is this stat now in basketball that is called win shares. This is a win share is a player statistic which attempts to divvy up credit for team success to the individuals on the team. Okay, so basically, you talk about a guy like Damian Lillard, one of the top guys in win shares. I mean, Damian Lillard has won games for his team consistently this year, 30-plus points, shooting at a great percentage, all that stuff. LeBron James toward the top. And I don't expect Andrew Wiggins to be on that. Okay, but do you know this year Andrew Wiggins had 0.6 win shares? 0.6 is 350th in the NBA. We are talking about Andrew Wiggins being surrounded by Jason Randall and Dragon Bender. Do you know who those two guys are? Wiggins is making $25.5 million a year. $25.5 million a year for 0.6 win shares. For a mid-range game. For a 1980s style. And it's not even 1980s style because he's soft as a tissue. He has, these are just, they're disgusting stats. He's played 2,543 minutes this year. Way more than Dragon Bender and Chasson Randall. Okay? In this time, he has a true shooting percentage of 49, ranking him 190th out of 199 qualifying players, just ahead of Timberwolves teammate Josh Okogie. He ranked one spot ahead of Boran Bogdanovic in rebound rate, and one spot ahead of Dwight Powell in assist rate. Dwight Powell is a 7-foot center for the Mavs. He also managed to register a 0.6 VORP, which is a value over player replacement. That puts him at a staggering 507th in the entire NBA, surrounded by the efficient stars like Dennis Schroeder, Brandon Knight, and Shelvin Mack. Andrew Wiggins has been a complete disaster for this Timberwolves franchise. Fully guaranteed $121 max deal. $121 million over the next 4 seasons. That is scary. For a guy that you talk about zero interest, zero motivation to get better, zero emotion, he doesn't care. I don't usually say that about players because to me it's a very immature thing to say. Like, the Wild didn't win because they didn't try. I don't believe in that. I really believe that Andrew Wiggins can care less if he shoots the ball well or not, if his team wins or not. I think he has one motive, and he got paid. And the Timberwolves made another colossal mistake in not trading Andrew Wiggins and trading Zach LaVine. Because Zach LaVine looks like he is going to be a star in this league. And I know he's on a bad team, but the Timberwolves are a bad team too. And Andrew Wiggins, who settles for 25-foot jumpers, mid-range jump shots, can't finish around the rim, can't make a layup, can't play defense, and has been compared, and don't ever forget this, this was a guy coming out of Canada in high school that people said he's the next LeBron James. He is so far away from that. We're looking, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm looking for a guy that can score 15 points and shoot 40% at this rate. Andrew Wiggins can't do neither. He's inefficient, he's outdated, and he has zero guts in his game. So that's why he ranks on my all Minnesota given up on team, Andrew Wiggins, because I have completely given up. I'm surprised that the Timberwolves haven't given up. I know fans have given up. I know writers have given up. Writers kill him. Jim Suwan kills him. Fun show as always. Tweet me questions if you have any. I would love to discuss. I'd love to answer your guys' questions. Tell me what you guys like, what you don't like at SSTROM32. Big thanks to Brandon Morton, Jim Suwan on the website, talknorth.com. I will talk to you guys next Sunday. I promise I'll get on my high horse, get Negative Dave back, get some guys here for summer. I'm excited for the summer program. Definitely have some dudes on here. I've recruited some good guests over the last couple months here. Hopefully we can continue that success and keep you guys entertained. Have a great Mother's Day, everyone. Talk to you next week.